Chelsea 4, Djurgården 1. Chelsea 1 foot in the European semifinal of the Conference League. Welcome back to FFB, amigos. And today Chelsea with a new sponsor on their shirt. Question mark. Four games left. Weird. We'll talk about that in a separate video. We are almost through. With this result, 4-1, Chelsea is pretty much through to the next game, and I think we did it relatively comfortable. Still some errors, some weird stuff that happened, some defensive errors, some lack of clarity in play, obviously as an inferior competition, but still. We made it through, which was what matters for now, and that might prove important. Even though the news of the day actually is not this game. If you're watching, Brentford did us the favor, and I'm looking at it here: 2-0 to Forest. Brentford away gets 2 goals. Wiza and Shad put us ahead 2-0 and keep Chelsea in 5th place. So now we can talk about this game peacefully. How mediocre. We have Brentford saving our ass, keeping us in the top 5, and hopefully bringing back European positions back into Chelsea's control. We just need one more result, and then it'll depend on us. Of course, we know we're playing Liverpool and all that. But let's get into this game. Djurgården, thank you so much for allowing us to beat you today, even though we've been struggling lately. In the first 10 minutes, they had a couple of attacks. So there were 2 moments where we gave up play. One at the beginning when we were a little bit loose, and another when we made all these changes that you'll see later in the game. However, at the 12th minute, Sancho from an Enzo Fernández long cross pass into the box. Poor defending, obviously. Sancho gets it, a bit of a fumble. Tries to open between the legs, finds a little space, puts it in. Absolutely. 43rd minute, we lost the sponsor, guys. We lost the sponsor. And 43 minutes, Madueke scores a goal. It's another assist from Enzo Fernández. Madueke does good to score that goal. Of note here, Petrović, this is the kind of game, like, he did a good job today. And why do I mention this not Petrović, Jorgensen. Jorgensen did a great job. I wish it was Petrović. Jorgensen did a good job today. Again, there's always the disclaimer of lesser opposition, so please just use that for all the comments that apply today. But yeah, I honestly felt he kept us in the game, because we've struggled in the past when we suddenly take 1 or 2 goals from even a team as small as this, and then we're crying and suffering. He had a couple of good saves, but we'll get into what those are. At the end of the day, come to Chelsea are leading 3-0. The job should be done. Team well played, and I'm looking at coming into the second half. Chelsea goes with all the substitutions, bringing in some big guns. They bring in Caicedo for James, who is inverting. Enzo Fernández out, Cole Palmer in, Cucurella out, Trevor Chalobah in. So there's a shift. Badiashile goes on the left center back. Nicolas Jackson comes in for Noni Madueke. So at the beginning of the second half, there's one period, and at the end of the first half that I'm talking about, they had one dangerous attack to Gordon, and one set piece that was pretty dangerous to us, which makes me really weird. We're really flimsy in defense, even against the smaller teams. So I would say at the end of the day, Jorgensen made 3 important saves in the match, and 2 that were like badass saves. So if you take that into account, and he would have had a poor display, then those 2 goals coming in at the wrong time could have really put us under pressure. It would have been really uncomfortable. Then we have to play the return leg with like the big players, although the big players haven't been doing it. And we're in a position, look, it should have never happened. We shouldn't even be where we are. But there's a position where it can happen, where we're fighting to try to get into UEFA by winning the Conference League, and we're nervous about that at the same time that we're trying to win it at the Premier League. These games sort of overlapping around the same week, and we can end up with neither. We could be back in the Conference League. So it's a scary proposition. It shouldn't happen. The standards are not there. However, 59th goal, a very important goal. Nicolas Jackson scores a really, 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 really good goal after a defender mistake, and does like an easy tap in. And then the better of the goal, the brace, Jackson does like, dude, what a beautiful. Please watch the goal if you haven't, where he sort of just steps on the ball to open it and whacks it. across the keeper. From something that I've been saying, again, lesser opposition, but I've been saying for a long time, when Caicedo is allowed to press really high, he will force an error around the box on the other team. And that's what happened in this example. And again, it's one pass away from taking a shot on target. That's the beauty in a short distance pass, not a long pass. However, later, Djurgården gets their goal. Mulugeta, I think is his name, from a very unmarked header. Poor defending from Chelsea, definitely in that play, which is highly concerning, but fine. Their minds are not there. They felt the game was done. We had a young man come in for a Chelsea debut, which is always a beautiful thing. And we got the result. So please like and subscribe so I can do the return leg. It should be a formality, guys, at this point. It should just be a formality. I'm more excited to talk about what's coming on the weekend and the remaining games and the Premier League, as well as the return legs for the Champions League next week. So please keep an eye out. Subscribe. See you next one.